President Tinubu receives leadership of Christian Association of Nigeria, promises to tackle security challenges and corruption. Nigeria beats Guinea-Bissau to qualify for next round nations.
This act is going to enable us to intervene and support families, particularly those at the needy end.
Students' loan scheme, federal government set to launch Nigerian Education Loan Fund.
And within the boundaries between FCT and these other states.
FCT minister rallies support of neighboring states as defense headquarters deploys non-kinetic approach to ending internal security threats. Hello, it's always a pleasure to have you join us on the network news on NTA. I'm Nta Network. Michael Olale will join us from Lagos. NTA Network News is always live on our website, nta.ng/live. Follow us across all social media platforms for current news as well. President Bola Tinubu says his administration will not relent in addressing corruption and other vices, as it is a sacred duty to ensure that the country is set right for the prosperity of all Nigerians. The president said this when he received the leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria at the State House. State House correspondent Musbau Langwahab has details. That report will come in our subsequent bulletin. Meanwhile, the federal government is set to launch the Nigerian Education Loan Fund to make the Students' Loan Scheme functional. The executive secretary of the Student Loan Board, Akintunde Sawyer, stated this while briefing State House correspondents after meeting with President Bola Tinubu. The legislation provides for establishment of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, which will have the power to administer, supervise, coordinate and monitor management of student loans in Nigeria. The loan is expected to be sourced from the education tax.
Great opportunity for that applicant, and they are the ones at the center of all of this. This act, effectively the intention behind it is to ensure that the reason for not being able to go on and further your education at a tertiary level is not for the lack of finance. This act, this law seeks to bridge the gap between desire to study and capacity to go further. It seeks to bridge that gap if the gap is one that is created by lack of finance, lack of funding. This intervention will affect the lives of many Nigerian youth, because that's usually the bracket that want to further their education. It will impact the lives of many Nigerian families, because the onus to pay for education tends to fall on parents or on families. Well, this act is going to enable us to intervene and support families, particularly those at the needy end.
Is a way of being accountable to the taxpayer, because the essence of education tax is to consolidate and restore education integrity and quality in Nigeria. And in fulfilling that part of the heart, so that is why Education Tax Fund is one of the sources of funding by God's grace that we use actually to prepare and execute this laudable program.
Is required to make an impact on Nigerians who are willing to study but cannot afford it, based on provisions of the legislation. The fund is also expected to receive and screen applications for student loans. Meanwhile, interested students willing to study abroad now have the option to do that in the United Kingdom. Abdullahi Musa Suleja reports that a UK boarding schools exhibition week in Abuja presents the requisite criteria for the opportunity.
Are you a parent that wants your children to study abroad and not too sure of what institution to choose? Then this is one opportunity to address your dilemma, offered by reputable schools in the UK, championed by Mark Brooks Education. With 16 years of experience, the body enters into partnership with schools and interfaces with parents and provide necessary information to enable them make the right choice.
There are many fantastic schools in Nigeria, but quite often they don't offer sixth form places or places to do the foundation as a preparation for university. So what UK boarding schools offer is an all-round education, opportunities to thrive in sports, co-curricular activities, get training for medical school, for STEM and science and accounts and business-based subjects, so they can get the best possible place in university. We're not here to say we're better than Nigeria's schools, but we're an alternative if people are looking at alternatives, especially for schools that don't offer sixth form places.
The information I've gathered here today will help me to plan for my kids, for them to get the best of their education in the UK.
There is so much that's on offer and it's incredibly overwhelming, but we need to look at the futures and the careers that don't exist yet, that these students need to prepare themselves for.
What this exhibition is all about is to give you the correct pathways, the opportunities.
Mark Brooks Education has so far admitted over 1,000 Nigerians since inception who are based in the UK. Abdullahi Musa Suleja, NTA News.
Still on education, a 4-day digital and technological training program for secondary school students tagged Buildathon 2024 has commenced in Owerri, with participants advised to take advantage of the event to upgrade their ICT skills. Kingsley Ononu reports that 500 students from 50 public secondary schools in the state are participating in the exercise.
Buildathon is an event organized by the Federal Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy in partnership with Raspberry Pi and supported by the Nigerian Communications Commission. It is aimed at harnessing the transformative power of digital technology and innovation to deepen Nigeria's economy, as well as nurturing a new generation of digitally literate and innovative young minds. Speaking at the event, Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, represented, says the training program will inculcate into the participants the creative minds they need to excel in life.
And we're trying from this young age to groom these students to be able to think digitally, to be able to solve different problems, and to be able to be the next technologists and technocrats of Nigeria and the world.
Some of Imo State stakeholders enjoined the participants to make good use of the rare opportunity provided by the federal government.
This is a policy direction that government has taken that will impact not just now, but impact the future of our children.
What they are here to do is to find ways of converting every adversity into an opportunity.
They will become children who are equipped to be on the same pace with their counterparts, globally.
It's not a situation now where you say, child, do one thing, you say, I cannot connect. They can just stay in their house and connect London, connect US, connect anywhere.
This program will help me to go far in life, to achieve my dreams and my goals.
This program will help me as someone who is passionate about tech.
The 4-day event, which is simultaneously taking place across 3 cities in the country, namely Owerri, Maiduguri, and Abeokuta, is training 1,500 senior secondary school students, with 500 students in each location on globally unfolding technological revolution. In Owerri, Kingsley Ononu, NTA News.
And now to relocation of agencies. The Northern Senators Forum is to engage the executive arm of government, leadership of the Senate and other relevant stakeholders in relation to concerns raised in some quarters over alleged relocation of some federal agencies to Lagos. Spokesman of the forum, Senator Kawu Sumaila, states members are also committed to addressing concerns of constituents regarding perceived uneven allocation of resources in the 2024 budget. Senator Sumaila in the statement adds that as a bridge between the people and government, the forum is seeking amicable resolution within the confines of the Constitution and existing laws. Meanwhile, the Rural Electrification Agency has been requested to supply the House of Representatives Committee on Public Accounts with more documents detailing the utilization of an alleged 12.4 billion naira COVID-19 intervention fund. This was when the agency reappeared before the House Committee on Public Accounts investigating the utilization of the said COVID-19 funds. National Assembly correspondent Joshua Ogunjide reports.
Appearing before the committee for the second time, the managing director of the Rural Electrification Agency said when the aforementioned allocation was made to the agency as a single line item, it works closely with the Federal Ministry of Budgets and National Planning to see how the money would be judiciously used. After various meetings, the MD explains it was agreed that power should be supplied to the primary healthcare centers, consequent upon which they requested for the list of the healthcare centers for the intervention.
Eventually, we came up with a plan to do at least 205 to 10 kilowatt systems for primary healthcare centers nationwide.
Extreme document presented by REA, the committee pointed out that there were still gaps that needed to be filled.
Where the list of the contractors that have the outstanding balance of 612.7 million, we want to know what has happened to this money.
The committee resolved to visit the project site while requesting for approvals of the Bureau of Public Procurement on all the projects, as well as provide answers to all other matters raised. From the National Assembly, Joshua Ogunjide, NTA News.
Now let's go back to our story on President Bola Tinubu receiving the leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria. State House correspondent has the details.
2023 pre-election campaigns recorded yet another dimension in divisive methods. The Muslim ticket of the All Progressives Congress (APC) generated hues and cries, and so capitalized on by politicians for political gains. The outcome left a thick line between the two major religions.
The general elections of 2023 have come and gone, and by the grace of God we have a sitting president in the person of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. And so the leadership of CAN decided to come to pay a courtesy visit, to congratulate him on his election, and to pledge our support for his administration.
Now President of all Nigerians, President Bola Tinubu received the leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria. And the President emphasized the role of faith leaders in fostering unity and peace in the country. President Tinubu called on Christian leaders to support the administration's ongoing fight against corruption by encouraging Nigerians to have a change of mindset on money-related matters. Acknowledging the role of religious leaders, the President implored them to continue to preach tolerance, perseverance, and hope for Nigerians. He called for dialogue, as he said public condemnation of a nation is not what makes any citizen a good one. The association commended the social and economic decisions taken so far by the President toward repositioning the country on the path of better prosperity.
Oh no, sincerely, what we found out is that the President is actually sensitive to all these challenges that we have. You know, he is aware, and we see him making very positive steps even from the beginning of his administration by the way he has made the appointments so far. He has come with a great sense of inclusiveness, and Nigerians are having a sense of belonging.
They want Nigerians to be patient with the government of the day for the benefit of its policies and programs to manifest.
So we believe that now we have a listening president, and we urge him to continue on that path and to continue to always look out for those who mean well for this nation and put them into good use.
It was the first visit of the association to the president since the assumption of office. In the State House, Musbau, then Wahab, NTA News.
Now let's join Badia Dile for some interesting results at the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations. Badi.
Many thanks, Najatu. Opa Sangete on goal in the 30th minute ensured Nigeria beat Guinea-Bissau by a lone goal to qualify to the knockout stage of the Africa Cup of Nations. The match was historic as Moroccan official Botra Kabobi became the first female referee to take charge at AFCON finals.
And there's the long ball coming over the top. Picks up on the left-hand side, a great opportunity. Shot into the back of the net. Oh, wow! And it's an own goal smash.
Now Nigeria will face the runners-up of Group C in the round of 16 of the Africa Cup of Nations after they placed second in Group A behind the National Thunder of Equatorial Guinea. Abdullah Ajia monitored the match here in Abuja and now reports.
It's been another evening of African football in the Africa Cup of Nations. Nigeria's Super Eagles in the last group match engaged Guinea-Bissau. Well, football fans driven by love of country and support for the round later game came out to give their support. And at this viewing center, football fans could not hide their joy and excitement, in addition the anxiety of watching the Super Eagles.
The boys, they performed below par. They performed below what was expected. In fact, it was a very discouraging performance. No midfield play, no tactics. It was very, very below par.
Despite the fact you scored one and you got 3 points.
Well, the goal was as a result of the weakness of the Guinea-Bissau team. So there's nothing to write home about. If they play people who are more technically in-depth, they wouldn't perform so well.
The game of football is about goals. It means that we have won the match. And a way forward for us is to progress to the next level. We have done well. It's a step to step. Definitely we are going to bring this cup to Nigerians. I'm very certain the boys are just trying to put themselves together to understand the level of the tournament. And I'm very, very confident that they will do better. It's a game of goals. The pressure led to the goal. If they were not playing well, the goal couldn't have been possible. And certainly because of the pressure, the goal came.
Elsewhere, Emilion Swe continued his goal-scoring form as he netted a brace for Equatorial Guinea in their 4-0 victory over host country Cote d'Ivoire. And Swe, who netted the first hat-trick at AFCON since 2008 against Guinea-Bissau on March Day 2 in Group A, registered his 4th and 5th strikes of the tournament to secure a top spot against all odds for his country. Now let's take a look at Group A final standings. As dark horses, the National Thunder of Equatorial Guinea have 7 points, courtesy of that top drawer performance against host country. Also, the Super Eagles of Nigeria on 7 points, but with lesser goal difference, are second ahead of host Cote d'Ivoire on 3 points, while Guinea-Bissau becomes the first country to officially exit the championship after they lost all 3 matches in Group A. Let's now turn our attention to Tuesday's matches at the tournament where defending champions, the Teranga Lions of Senegal on 6 points, need to avoid defeat to finish as Group C leaders when they take on Guinea, who are currently second with 4 points in 2 matches. 2017 champions Indomitable Lions of Cameroon on 1 point will go all out against a winless Gambia national team in the championship and hope for a favorable result to have a realistic chance of progressing beyond the group stage. In Group D, 2019 champions Algeria on 2 points play Mauritania with no points as Ted Bouake, just as top of the table clash is between Panancras Negras of Angola and the Stallions of Burkina Faso, with both teams on 4 points each. And of course, let's let you know that the Group C encounter between Ghana and Mozambique is live on Nta Network, and Ghana just got a goal via a Jordan Ayew penalty. That's AFCON update for now. We'll now take a commercial break.
Thanks for staying tuned. We're talking defense now. The defense headquarters is emphasizing application of soft power in ongoing internal security operations across the country. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, made this known at a course on psychological operation in Abuja, organized by the Defense Intelligence Agency. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
Kidnapping, terrorism and secessionist agitation are security threats with adverse impact on Nigeria's socio-economic environment. Apart from the application of non-kinetic operations to combat these threats, the armed forces have adopted the use of soft power to further gain communities' trust and enhance intelligence reports for proactive operations. This national security course on psychological operations and strategic communication is focusing on winning the hearts and minds of the citizens for national security.
Globalization, technological developments, and the information revolution have imposed on the world an order of change. This order has influenced almost everything in global conceptual and empirical lives, including the concept of war.
The intensification of non-kinetic operations in the Northeast led to the surrender of more than 6,500 terrorists with their families in 14 years.
The intent of this program, which cuts across all ministries, departments, agencies at state and federal level, is to articulate ways to reconnect with our communities and enlighten them on the importance of lawful conduct as against the criminalities, the insurgencies and tendencies against societal norms.
The Defense Intelligence Agency is emphasizing holistic approach to address insecurity in the country. Experts at the ongoing course stress the need to upscale psychological warfare, a critical component of internal security operation, as it enhances success with lesser collateral damage. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, says relevant security agencies have been mobilized to tackle incidents of insecurity in the FCT. The minister, who made the comments during a media engagement in his office, said efforts were on to collaborate with states bordering the Federal Capital Territory to completely obliterate bandit hideouts in forests and areas which aid movement of outlaws, such as city outskirts.
We have boundaries with 4 states: Kaduna State, Niger State, Nasarawa State, Kogi State. If you follow these 4 states are the states where issue of insecurity, that's what banditry have taken place. You know what has happened in Kaduna, what has always happened in Niger, what has happened in Nasarawa, and what has happened in Kogi State. Now, both of these things that take place in FCT are within the boundaries between FCT and these other states. Since that incident happened in Buhari, and we had our first, our first Security Council meeting for this year, and then the president had to summon service chiefs, the Minister of Defense, and my humble self, that I'm not going into details. Of course, it didn't take how many days. Look at the achievements they have achieved. Nobody's talking about that.
Similarly, the Inspector General of Police Special Intervention Squad has vowed to sustain the heat on every bandit and kidnapper in the nation's capital space to restore confidence and security in the FCT and environs. Onotu Yakubu, who has been following the operation, has an update.
From the force headquarters, the squad marked its presence in Kurudu, where 2 persons were recently kidnapped at the Army Post Service Housing Estate. Afterwards, the patrol maneuvered through Orozo axis and as well traveled tens of kilometers through villages such as Chorim Bisa and Gugugi Pesa, among others. A strong intelligence ignited the narrowing of the squad's patrol through the routes.
Intelligence at disposal is that is a kidnapper's route. So we took all the route to make sure that nothing happens, and they didn't continue their act of kidnapping. That is why we have our drone, we have our binoculars, and we are climbing and viewing to ensure there's no camp, there's no kidnappers camp or bandit camp around at our back of FCT.
With sustained vigor, Commissioner of Police Bennett Igwe says the squad has 4 operational rules of engagement against the kidnappers and other criminals terrorizing FCT. It is nightfall, so the team retreats to pick up the operational trails at the dawn of the next morning. Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
This is the network news on NTA. Stay tuned for more news after some messages. This is the network news on NTA. Gombe State Government says it will continue to partner donors in the health sector to attain the required standard of universal health coverage in the state. This is as it inaugurates Go Health Duty Call and Contact Centers across the 11 local government areas of the state. Joseph Zanagambo reports.
It is 2 years down the line since the establishment of the Gombe State Contributory Health Management Scheme, Go Health, in the state, and more than 140,000 persons have access to its services at an affordable rate. To provide this opportunity to people at the grassroots, recently local government workers and the non-formal sector have been enrolled on the scheme. The establishment of these Go Health Duty Call Centers in local government areas is to serve as enrollment centers for formal and non-formal sector to receive complaints and as well ensure monitoring and supervision for more effective and efficient healthcare delivery.
We are here to further strengthen the already existing Go Health that was established in 2021, and we are strengthening it by the commissioning of a call and contact center.
79% of those people interviewed, of the beneficiaries interviewed, reported being satisfied with the services Go Health is providing.
To the beneficiary communities, the initiative is commendable.
They don't have to travel long distance to be enrolled or have access to the scheme.
The scheme will reduce mortality rate of women and children.
For sustainability of the program, it is a great achievement for the state government to take the scheme closer to the grassroots population. In Gombe, Joseph Zanagambo, NTA News.
There was 22% reduction in road traffic crashes nationwide, as well as 21% deaths in 2023. Corps Marshal, Federal Road Safety Corps, Dauda Alibiu, made this known while reviewing activities of the Corps in 2023, especially Operation Zero Auto Crash between 15th December 2023 and January 15, 2024. Uyemi Ajayi reports.
The year 2023 for the Federal Safety Corps started with upward mobilization of human and material resources to achieve maximum impact of highway safety. Between January and December 2023, 10,617 road traffic crashes were recorded nationwide. This figure indicates reduction compared to 13,656 recorded in 2022. 5,081 people died, reflecting 21% reduction of 6,456 in 2022.
that we have designed a policy which we have sent to federal government to approve the compulsory installation. It should not be a matter of policy that speed limiting devices must be installed in all vehicles that need to have speed limiting device. So it's coming out as a policy. Vehicles from factory must be fitted. Vehicles being imported must also be fitted with those speed limiting device.
For 2024, further reduction of crashes is the main target of the call, with enhancement of performance of already established task force on overloading of heavy-duty vehicles to curtail fatalities that come with their recklessness. The Corps Marshal is also unequivocal about assault and knockdowns of officers on duty. There was equally the reduction of fatalities recorded from December 15, 2023 to the 15th of January 2024 when compared to the previous one. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
And now to business. The Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDEN, is set to commence a nationwide small business census to create credible and comprehensive database of SMEs in the country. The Director General of the agency, Charles Odi, at a Business Skills Development Initiative said 55 beneficiaries, each from 13 states of the Federation, will be among the first set. Muplang Dakok reports.
Shifao, an upcoming fashion designer, is among trainees who is expectant that the training will improve her business.
It's going to go a very long way because it will enable us to go wider in our businesses and also be able to employ people.
Well, I was very happy. In fact, right from the day one that the DG break the news for us, I have been, happy since from that moment up to now.
The program is expected to empower and train nano and micro businesses on entrepreneurship education and vocational skills, and will present beneficiaries with various equipment at the end of the program.
The overall aim of this training is to ensure that we get to these people that needs this equipment, especially the startup kits. A lot of people are there that have learned one skill or the other, but they find it difficult to get it.
The Director General of SMEDEN says the agency is working to enhance the quality of its interventions nationwide.
Our message is simple. When the Nigerian business person prospers, Nigeria prospers. We're looking forward to the journey ahead, knowing that hard things are worth doing.
The one-week program is running concurrently in 13 states, which include Enugu, Niger, and Akwa Ibom. Moplang, Dakok, NTA News.
And for more business news, let's join Musa Abubakar. Musa?
Thank you, Naja. Let's begin with energy. Oil prices rose Monday after Ukraine reportedly had a major rush to the terminal, leading to new international supply disruptions. CNBC reports that the West Texas Intermediate Futures contract for February gained 2.42% to settle at $75 a barrel. The Brent contract for March was last up 1.88% to trade at $80 a barrel. Now the bullish trend in the equities market shows no sign of...
No, it seems we have a bit of a problem there. We might rejoin Musa Abubakar. We do apologize for that mix-up. Now let's take this report. The Federal High Court has restrained Governor Siminalayi Fubara from interfering with operations of the Rivers State House of Assembly and its finances. Justice James Omotosho gave the verdict in a suit filed by erstwhile Speaker of the State Assembly, Martin Amewule. That report will come after this timeout. Thanks for staying tuned. Before we bring you the Rivers Report, the federal government will strictly regulate the tobacco industry in compliance with laid-down regulations. The move has become necessary to check the increasing involvement of youths in smoking. The Minister of Health, Mohammed Ali Pati, disclosed this during a tobacco control advocacy program held in Lagos. Bolaji Akim was there for NTA News.
According to World Health Organization, about
about 4.5 million Nigerians from 15 and above are tobacco users, while 3 million, majorly youths, are current smokers. More than 28,000 deaths recorded annually are traceable to tobacco-related diseases. Worried by this alarming figure, the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, organized tobacco control advocacy campaign tagged "Tobacco Makes Their Dreams Go Up in Smoke, Don't Burn Their Future." The campaign is to sensitize the public on dangers of exposing children to any acts of smoking. Minister of Health, who was represented, gave a warning signal on youth consumption pattern, which he said is alarming.
This campaign, alongside other several activities being rolled out by the Federal Ministry of Health, will increase national awareness on the dangers associated with tobacco use and exposure to second-hand tobacco smoke.
The acting vice chairman of FCCPC, Dr. Adamu Abdullahi, called on all stakeholders, especially the older ones, to desist from behavioral mood capable of jeopardizing the life of the young ones, as research has shown that most non-communicable diseases are traceable to tobacco smoking. Dr. Abdullahi explained that the Commission is determined more than ever to save the life of Nigerian youths from being destroyed by smoking habits.
Without robust policies to deter youth initiation and encourage current users to quit, tobacco use is poised to be a leading cause of premature death and disability in Nigeria.
The advocacy campaign also featured the unveiling of key visuals and campaign assets. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
Thank you, Bolaji. Now let's continue where we left off on business news with Musa.
Thank you, Naja. Oil prices rose Monday after Ukraine reportedly attacked a major Russia fuel terminal over the weekend, raising renewed concerns about supply disruptions. CNBC reports that the West Texas Intermediate crude futures contract for February gained 2.42% to settle at $75.19 a barrel. The Brent contract for March was last up 1.88% to trade at $80.04 a barrel. Now, the bullish trend in the equities market shows no sign of slowing down as investors' confidence continue to drive positive momentum. This is the renewed direction Chartered Institute of Brokers say is needed to drive the needed investment for economic growth and development in the country.
The performance of the stock market is been extraordinary, something that has come up on account of positive development in the country. One, the smooth transition of power from one civilian administration to the other. Secondly, the initiation of policies by the federal government that are market friendly. The current administration has positioned itself as a market friendly administration with the kind of policy, economic policies that it has enunciated and it has formulated and they have introduced into the country.
The market on Monday hits another milestone, recording an all-share index of 95,768.12 basis point. At the end of the first weekday of trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, a total of 721 million shares in 15,757 deals, corresponding to a market value of 14.4 billion naira, were traded. The current market capitalization of the Nigerian Stock Exchange is 52.4 trillion naira. The financial services industry dominated the activity chart with Transcorp, Baristas Capital Assurance PLC and Access Holding PLC at the end of the session. Well, that's it. Najatu has more stories.
Thank you, Musa. And it's back to the Rivers State story, where the Federal High Court has restrained Governor Siminalayi Fubara from interfering with operations of the Rivers State House of Assembly and its finances. Justice James Omotosho gave the verdict in a suit filed by Speaker of the State Assembly Martin Amaewhule. Olabode Arewa of our Judiciary Desk reports.
Political instability had engulfed Rivers State in the last quarter of last year, culminating in the emergence of two factional speakers in the Rivers State House of Assembly in an alleged arson attack on a section of the state legislative building. The erstwhile Speaker of the House, Martin Amaewhule, in protection of its fundamental human rights and the preservation of the independence of the State Assembly as a separate arm of government, approached the court for the interpretation of certain provisions of the state law and the Constitution. In a landmark judgment, the Federal Court held that some provisions of the Rivers State House of Assembly Establishment Commission Act forbids the state governor or his agents from interfering with the state legislature's operations, its finances, recruitments or employments, as supported also by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. Justice Omotosho also restrained the National Assembly from taking over the functions of the Rivers State Assembly in line with the principle of separation of power. The court equally held that conditions precedent for the National Assembly to take over a state legislature were not present in this case. The court observed that after parties had joined issues in the case, Governor Fubara withdrew his pleadings, therefore he cannot enjoy any rights in the matter.
The court has restated the law as to the separation of powers of the various organs of government.
During the period of the crisis in Rivers State, the Martin Awewule faction defected to the APC, prompting a faction led by Edison Heye to take over the activities of the assembly. In a consequential verdict, the court set aside the 2024 appropriation bill purportedly passed by a faction and ordered a fresh proposed budget to be presented to the assembly. In Abuja, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, has expressed shock over the demise of the traditional ruler of Sankera in Benue State, Abu King Shulua, aged 79. Akume describes the late traditional ruler as a lover of peace and unity, whose leadership style facilitated harmonious coexistence among the people of Sankera Kingdom, comprising Katsanala, Logo and Ukum local government areas. King Shulua, until his death, was the Tor Sankera and chairman, Sankera Intermediate Area Traditional Council, member of the Tiv Area Traditional Council and Benue State Council of Traditional Rulers. The SGF commiserates with the government and people of Benue State Council of Traditional Rulers and King Shulua's immediate family, praying God to grant him eternal rest. And now for the weather prospects for Tuesday.
Have you joined us? Slight dust haze is expected to prevail over the northern parts of the country, with sunny and hazy atmosphere across the central and the inland cities of the south. Patches of cloud with haziness is expected across the coastal cities, with same prospect of isolated thunderstorms later in the day to parts of Yenagoa, Rivers, Delta and Edo State. Air quality is expected to be unhealthy over the north and the north-central cities, and unhealthy for sensitive group over the southern region. I leave you with the temperature forecast across some selected cities. I'm Sefia Senyisa. Thank you for watching.
That concludes the network news on NTA. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Nta Network.